Hello everyone and welcome to the Doll Coven. Today I thought I would do a fun video, or at least I think it's fun, and I have titled the video Battle of the Blythes because I received a request a little while back to do like a compare contrast video between the factory or the fakey Blythes versus the stock or the licensed Blythe dolls. So, certainly videos like this have been done before. Your mileage may vary in terms of the opinions that I'm about to present. I'm not an expert, just sharing my subjective experience. And for full transparency, I own only one stock Blythe doll so far. And then my husband also owns a stock Blythe. So I have at least two from which I am making my judgments. But for the purposes of this video, I will just be using one stock model and one factory model. So for the stock, of course, I have to go with my Float Away Dream. And she is in just more edgy attire, just to coincide with spooky season that is upon us. So the dress is shadow high, onyx, something onyx. I cannot remember her name. I used to own her, and I no longer do, but I still own some of her stock pieces. So that is from that doll from the Shadow High series. The boots are, I want to say, Etsy maybe, and then the faux leather jacket is Ali E, and then this bow in the back here is also part of the Shadow High doll stock. So Float Away Dream, and then for the factory model we shall be using Orchid. That is what I've named her. And the dress you've seen before in a different video from Sleep Forever on Etsy. And the shoes are from Ali E. Oh, and the earrings are from Life in Boston 101. I always screw up your Instagram. I'm so sorry, but I believe it's Life in Boston 101. Jan, if you're watching, thank you so much for these adorable Hello Kitty earrings. Orchid loves them. Also, before we get started, if you're interested in some background on why the non-stock or fake Blythe dolls are called factory Blythes, which can be misleading, especially for the newbies out there. I know that it certainly was misleading for me. I will leave a couple videos from Tammy over at Peace Craft Dolls with Tammy. She has made at least one video. I think there's another where she provides excellent background on why these non-stock dolls are called factory Blythe dolls. So go and check those videos out. I will leave them in the description box below. So let's get started. First category, hair. So I have only experience with the stock doll Float Away Dreams hair, and then Urban Fairy Ellie's hair, my husband's doll. And I will say, I've felt worse on other dolls, other doll lines, but I know that the stock Blythes have a reputation of having not so great wigs, that oftentimes the hair feels like tacky or greasy, as if there's like product in there. And so I've seen numerous people complain about the fact that the wigs don't feel great. Now, I will say for Float Away Dream, yes, there was that bit of kind of like that tacky feeling to it, but I have just been, treating it with, like a conditioner water mist, and I feel like over time it's already gotten better, and I think it will continue to get better. And Urban Fairy Ellie is pretty similar. So I would say in terms of the wig, the tactile experience, not so great, but there's minimal fallout, at least, with Dream and with Ellie. Haven't had any issues with fallout. And, the colors are very beautiful. I will say, I wish I would see more darker haired dolls. I feel like those are kind of few and far in between. And when we do get them, they're often sold out so quickly and they're hard to obtain. So, but, the stock dolls are known to have just, lovely colored wigs. And so, for instance, with Floataway Dream, I really love the seafoam green color of her hair. It's just chef's kiss. The wigs on the Factory Blythe, I gotta say, I really like them. I think just from a touch standpoint, they feel so much nicer. They're silkier, they don't have that tacky product in it. It's just overall, I think it just feels better. And I think the quality is great, given that, a lot of times the factory dolls are just way less expensive than the stock Blythes. That is, if you're not getting them customized. So now, that being said, there is, well, so for instance, Orchid she's got some fallout. Um, and it doesn't bother me because with the factory Blythes, there's just so much hair. So, I mean, fallout isn't necessarily a problem because there's just so much hair. I wouldn't mind if they dialed it back a little bit on the amount of hair because sometimes it's just unmanageable and I often resort to then having to tie their hair back just to be able to get it out of their face and not have it tangle up in their arms and all that. But that's just a minor gripe. But if you look at her curls, they're just really beautiful, really abundant. They don't look frizzy like with Float Away Dream. And I'm just overall, I really do like the Factory Blythe wigs. I think also a great thing is that there's just a variety of color. So here we have purple, but just all the different colors of the rainbow. Some of them are like ombre and, no problems finding like black wigs. No problems finding darker haired factory Blythes. They're just, it's just a lot of selection that you can choose from. So the winner in this round for hair, I'm gonna have to go with the Factory Blythe. Next category is the face or the head. And okay, so back to the stock. So typically with the Takara Blythe dolls, we do see that kind of gloss finish, which I think is nicely done. I think that it still takes great photos and videos and just a beautiful face up in terms of the coloring of the makeup. Now I have been made aware that with these stock Blythe dolls, the face can yellow over time. And so that is something to be aware of. And then I've also noticed that depending on which stock Blythe that you buy, the doll might have holes for earrings or might not. So this Blythe doll, Float Away Dream, does not have holes for earrings. So I believe that's correct, that some do and some don't. For the Factory Blythe doll, most manufacturers have a selection of either matte or gloss for the face. This one, I haven't done any kind of customization to her actual face up. This one, Orchid, she comes with eyebrows, and that's another great thing about the Factory Blythes. Some of them have eyebrows and some of them don't, whichever you prefer. I feel like there is more selection of skin tone than with the stock Blythe dolls. And this is just great for customization purposes because factory dolls are just so much less expensive than a stock doll. So you don't feel as bad if you practice with a customization and then royally screw it up. And then I believe at least most of the factory Blythes that I own, they all come with little earring holes for earrings. I haven't had any of my factory Blythes long enough to know whether their faces yellow over time, but if any of you know and have that information to share, please do leave a comment below. I have to say that, whenever I see photos or videos of factory Blythes on the socials, usually they have matte faces because a lot of them are customized. And so in order to do a face up, you have to start with like a sanded down faceplate to work with. So in terms of the winner in my book for faceplate, that's a toss-up. I think it depends on what I'm after. I think just kind of maybe overall look would be the stock Blythe because I don't feel like I have any desire to say, modify or customize her faceplate. I think she is gorgeous as she is. Just everything is just so well done. Whereas with, the factory Blythe, they can definitely leave room for customization. I think the factory Blythe is great for certainly if you're looking for matte, a matte faceplate. If you're looking for, different expressions, because like I said, some of them smile, some of them show teeth. So there are just wonderful options out there for factory if you're not looking to go into customizing for those types of aspects. And at the same time, the factory Blythe is great for the purposes of customization, which I have done with some of my factory Blythe dolls. Next category is eye mechanism and eye chips. So for the Blythe, I find that the eye mechanism is very smooth. When you yank down on the pull string, it doesn't take a lot of elbow grease or anything like that to have the positions of the eyes change, and it's not loud. So I think that the eye mech for the stock is just really well produced. And then in terms of the eye chips, they're just more vibrant than what you get for the default factory Blythe, in my opinion. And depending on the stock Blythe that you choose, you'll get different shades. So I am a huge fan of the eye mech and the eye chips of the stock Blythe. For the factory Blythe eye mechanism, you need to be a little more aggressive, or at least when it comes to the dolls that I have, you definitely have to be more aggressive with yanking down on the pull string. Now, I have modified this factory Blythe to have sleepy eyes. So, but say if you pull, you'll be able to hear it's much louder. I have to pull a little harder. And, in the beginning, I used to be so afraid that I was going to break the eye mech because of how hard I would have to pull. But that just seems to be, standard when it comes to the eye mechanism for factory Blythe. Now, you can probably already see here that I've also changed the eye chips for this doll. The kind of default eye chips that come with a factory Blythe, I will leave a picture, but it's usually kind of like this. They're paler in color, so you get blue, you get gray, pink, and almost like a peachy orange. Those are typically the only colors that you will ever see when you buy a factory Blythe off of Ali. So I went ahead and definitely changed up Orchid's eye chips to get some variety in there because, yeah, I'm not a huge fan of the Factory Blythe eye chip colors. Winner for this round, if you couldn't already guess, the stock Blythe. The eye mechanism function and the color vibrancy of the eye chips and the color variety of the eye chips just, yeah, they outdo the Factory Blythe. Sorry, Orchid. Okay, so the body. When it comes to the stock doll, they have non-articulated bodies, and I often, think of the kind of like OG Barbie dolls where, there's a bit of you can snap only to like a certain point where they will bend. So I don't know if you can hear that. And I think same with the arms. Arms are even less posable, but it's just the same idea where I don't know if I can show this here. So this is what the arms look like. So completely non-articulated. Now, I gotta say, there's a benefit to the fact that, they're not as bendy. For me, I have found that I think that these non-articulated stock dolls just stand better. They are able to kind of stay upright and hold their position better on a doll stand. So for collectors who are not really all about, posing their dolls in different scenarios where they're sitting versus standing versus, I don't know, riding a bicycle, then this kind of non-articulated body wouldn't be a problem at all. So the Factory Blythes do come with articulated bodies, so they are definitely more posable. They have joints, and I would say while that's great and all, that does make it difficult for them to stay upright on a doll stand. Because a lot of times, depending on, again, on the manufacturer, some of these joints can be on the weak side. And then you've got the heavy, kind of top heavy head on a skinny body. And so I have just found in my experience that my Factory Blythes do not want to stand or stay standing. And so that can be a little bit frustrating at times. And it's great for if you want to put them in different poses and such. And also what's great about the Factory Blythes is that a lot of them come with different hand poses. So you can buy them with like additional sets of hands. So here are I'll show you just a few here, which is fun to be able to switch out the different hand postures. Did I show this one? There's this one. So that's really fun. So right now I just have these hands on Orchid. So that's a great option to have. So the winner in this category at this point in time for me, it would be the stock Blythe, simply because it's just easier to get them to stay put in their doll stands. At this point in time, I am not posing my dolls in different positions. I don't have any intricate dioramas or, doll houses in which, they're doing different things or in staged different scenarios. And so, maybe one day. And so, of course, like with any of these categories, my opinions could very well change. But for now, I'm really loving the kind of more stable feel of the non-articulated stock Blythe doll. And that's all I wanted to go over for today. If you have stayed with me for this long, thank you very much. I hope you enjoyed. I certainly had a lot of fun. Do let me know some of your thoughts and opinions by dropping a comment below. And until the next time, much love and take care.